The Bruce Blackman murders, a family annihilation in British Columbia. The Bruce Blackman murders, also known as one of Canada's most notorious family annihilation cases, occurred in 1983 when Bruce Blackman, a young man suffering from untreated schizophrenia, murdered 6 members of his own family in a brutal and tragic spree. The case shocked the quiet community of British Columbia, raising important questions about mental illness, family violence, and the failings of the mental health system. Background of Bruce Blackman. Bruce Blackman was born in 1958 and grew up in the suburban areas of British Columbia, Canada. He came from a seemingly normal, middle-class family. However, as Blackman reached his early 20s, his behavior began to shift dramatically. Family members and friends noticed that he was becoming more withdrawn and paranoid, exhibiting strange beliefs and unusual behavior. He was described as quiet and unassuming, but over time, it became apparent that Blackman was experiencing symptoms of severe mental illness. Unfortunately, Blackman's family was unable to get him the proper psychiatric help he needed. Despite the warning signs, including his delusions and hallucinations, Blackman's mental state deteriorated rapidly without medical intervention. He began experiencing delusions that his family was conspiring against him or part of a larger cosmic force that he had to eliminate in order to save himself and the world. The murders on January 18, 1983, Bruce Blackman carried out one of Canada's most horrifying family massacres. Early that morning, Blackman snapped, driven by his schizophrenic delusions. Believing that his family members were agents of a demonic force plotting to destroy him, he decided that he had to kill them all to prevent a cataclysmic event. Armed with a .22 caliber rifle, Blackman systematically hunted down and killed 6 members of his family in their suburban Coquitlam home. Richard Blackman, his father, was shot and killed. Edna Blackman, his mother, was also shot to death. Patricia Blackman, his 16-year-old sister, was murdered. Raymond Blackman, his 15-year-old brother, was killed next. Sharon Blackman, his 21-year-old sister, was shot dead. Rick Blackman, his 25-year-old brother, was the last to be murdered. The massacre took place over the course of several hours. Blackman calmly executed his family members one by one, as his delusional mind convinced him that they had to be eliminated in order to save the world. After the murders, Blackman wandered the streets, incoherent and disoriented, before being arrested by police later that morning. Arrest and trial. When police apprehended Bruce Blackman, he was in a state of psychotic delusion. He did not resist arrest and immediately confessed to the murders, telling officers that he had killed his family to stop them from controlling his thoughts and bringing about the end of the world. It became clear to authorities that Blackman was suffering from a severe mental disorder. During his trial, Blackman's defense argued that he was not criminally responsible for the murders due to his mental illness. The court heard extensive testimony from psychiatrists who confirmed that Blackman had been in the grips of a schizophrenic psychosis at the time of the killings. He genuinely believed that his family was conspiring against him, and that his actions were necessary to prevent a global disaster. In the end, the court agreed that Blackman was not criminally responsible due to his untreated schizophrenia. Instead of a traditional prison sentence, he was committed to a psychiatric institution where he would undergo treatment for his mental illness. The aftermath. The Bruce Blackman case is one of Canada's most infamous examples of family annihilation and raised serious questions about the treatment of mental illness in society. Blackman's untreated schizophrenia led to one of the most tragic outcomes imaginable, a young man driven by delusions to murder his entire family. The case brought attention to the need for early intervention in cases of severe mental illness, as well as the importance of proper mental health care for individuals exhibiting signs of psychosis. After being committed to a psychiatric hospital, Blackman underwent extensive treatment for his schizophrenia. Over the years, He was stabilized through a combination of medication and therapy. His case remains a stark reminder of the dangers of untreated mental illness, and the devastating consequences it can have, not only for the individuals affected but also for their families and communities. Legacy and lessons. The Bruce Blackman murders shocked the quiet suburban community of Coquitlam, British Columbia, and remain one of the most disturbing family killings in Canadian history. The case highlighted the importance of recognizing the signs of severe mental illness and providing timely psychiatric intervention. Today, Blackman's case continues to serve as a grim warning about the dangers of untreated schizophrenia, and the potential for violence that can arise from delusional thinking. It also underscores the need for families, communities, and mental health professionals to take action when they see the signs of mental health crises, ensuring that individuals receive the help they need before tragedy strikes.